Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our UR International webinar. We're here to teach you about how to get registered in your classes for the first time on UR Self-Service. My name is Kalina, and I work in international admissions, and I'm looking forward to help walk you guys through this sometimes tricky, sometimes easy system. So if some of you don't know, I'm just going to explain a little bit more about academic advising, why it's important to meet with your academic advisor, how to choose your classes with the online system through UR Self-Service. We're going to look at issues with time conflicts, any kind of registration holds, why you may not be able to log in, and more. So I hope you guys are excited. I'm going to give a bit more of an introduction, and then I'm going to walk you through the tutorial. We do have live Q&A on the sidebar, so if you have any questions while you're watching, feel free to submit those. We're also going to have that Q&A chat open all day today through into our second webinar. So if you have any questions throughout the day, go ahead and submit those. They will get answered. You can always also email us at international.admissions@uregina.ca. You're going to find all of the resources, all of our contact information on the main event page. So go ahead and check that out. I'm also going to give a list of all of the academic advising contact information. So if you're in the Faculty of Arts, Faculty of Science, Engineering, so forth, we've got you covered. Okay? So welcome everybody, and I hope you're excited. Like I said, Q&A is going to be answered a little bit at the end of the video. So go ahead and post those throughout. Don't worry about interrupting, and we'll definitely get that answered for you. So I'm going to show you our walkthrough, and we will go from there, okay? All right, here we go. All right, so here you have our getting started. We're going to start from the beginning. You can see we've got academic advising, undergraduate and course catalog, timetable tool, and I need help. So what we're going to be doing is listing these in your showcase. So if you look in the sidebar of your video right now, we've got all of those links in the showcase. So if you want to go check out the undergraduate calendar and course catalog, you can check that out right now on the sidebar. To find the academic advising contact sheet, you can also find that in the sidebar. Our timetable tool is there as well, so you can build your own schedule about your classes. You can look into when classes are, where they're going to be. And the I need help button as well has a bit more information, so if you're running into things that don't get covered in this webinar, you should be able to find what you need there. So I also have here a list of your academic advising. This is how we're going to start. So your academic advisors are people who are here to help you pick the best classes. They can help make sure you've got the prerequisites for the classes you need. If you have transfer credit, those are the people you're going to talk to as well. If you're interested in registering in a class, but you're not sure if it fits your schedule, you're not sure if it fits your program, these are the people you want to talk to. So for the Faculty of Arts, you want to contact Arts Student Services. Their phone number and their email is here. For the Faculty of Media, Art, and Performance, we've got that here. So go ahead and find your own faculty, and that's where the contact information will be. We're also going to upload this a little bit later on, so you can get this information really easily. If you're in one of the federated colleges, so if you're through Campion College, First Nations University, Luther College, or maybe even La Cité for the French Institute, then their contact information is here as well. You're going to do your academic advising through them. So even if you're in the Faculty of Arts, if you're a Luther student, you're going to go to them. All right? So let's start off this navigation. How to log into UR Self-Service. You should have your acceptance letter. On page 2 of your acceptance letter, it does give a few instructions on how to log in. To log in, you're going to need your student ID number and your password. Now, if this is your first time logging in, your password is going to be your date of birth. It's going to be pretty easily set up. So when you go to the URegina homepage, so just uregina.ca, along the top heading of the page, there will be an option that says UR Self-Service. You got to click on that, and it'll bring you to the page you see here. If you have any trouble logging in, the first step I want you to do is click on the Help button, okay? And so the Help button is going to be up here in the little corner. If you still have trouble logging in after following those instructions, then contact IT services or IT support. So their contact information is here as well as on the help button. They can help you if you're having any trouble logging in. Now, once you've logged into UR Self-Service, you want to click on Student Services. This is how we're going to start looking at your classes and checking your registration status. Now, for checking your registration status, once you click on Student Services, you want to go to the second option and you want to click on Registration. This is going to tell you if your registration is open, if you have any holds, if you've got a time ticket telling you can't register till later. So as you can see down here as an example, the first thing you're going to see is your time ticket. Now, today is April 5th, so open registration does start today. And you should not have any time tickets or holds unless your semester to start is later than September 2016. Anybody who wants to register for spring summer classes or fall classes, this is the time to do it. Now, going further, you want to click Add, Drop, or Search for Classes. This is how we're going to look up classes and see what's available. So once you've clicked on this link, now you want to go down to the bottom of the screen. You'll see a button that says Class Search, because we're going to look at the different classes available and see what fits your schedule. Now, once you've clicked on Class Search, it'll bring you up to a screen where you can enter a whole bunch of different specifications and filters to find out what class you're looking for. Let's start with something easy. If you're looking for English 100, how do we find this class? So you want to select a subject, which is English. And then in the course number, what that really means is your level of course. So if we're looking for English 100, you can enter 100. If you're not sure what level class it is, don't enter anything. If you're not sure exactly what number class it is, you can just enter the 1 for 100 level classes, 2 for 200 level classes, and so on and so forth. Don't be afraid though, if you don't know what class or what level it is, you can just enter the subject and leave the rest blank. The only other thing I'm going to recommend that you enter is that you select classes that are on campus. This is important because the University of Regina does offer classes throughout Saskatchewan. You don't want to sign yourself up for a class that's an hour drive away because you're never going to make it there from your first class. So make sure you select the on-campus option, okay? Very important. Select on campus, everybody, okay? More parameters can be filled out as you get used to the system, but for now, I recommend that you only stick with the subject, the course number, and on campus. Moving on, I will show you how to understand your search results. So once you've entered a search, what you want to do is be able to understand what you've found. So it'll list a bunch of classes. For example, if we look up biology and then you put 140 for the course number, it's going to show you all of the biology 140 classes available because there are more than one. Now, understanding if there is space in a class. First of all, if there is absolutely no space in the class, you'll notice that the little box to check off on the left-hand side will not be available. These classes all have space available. So under CAP column, that stands for the capacity of the class. That means it can take up to 18 students. The next column over shows ACT. That stands for actual. How many students are currently actually registered in the class and how many seats are currently taken. So you can see our first option, there's nobody registered in this class yet. But if you go down, you'll see there's a class that already has 7 students registered. If you see that this class has maybe 17 out of 18 students registered, then that means you want to get in there quick because your spot could be lost. Now, with REM in the next column, that is remaining available seats. Kind of self-explanatory. You can see that since nobody is registered in this class yet, there are still 18 seats available. If we go a little bit further down, there's a class that has 36 seats capacity, 5 seats currently taken. That means there are 31 seats still available. Now over on the left-hand side, you notice the section number. So some of these classes have a section with a letter before the number starts. Now what that letter stands for is what college it's through. Some classes are offered on the University of Regina campus, while others are specifically offered through the federated colleges. This does not mean that you cannot register in this class. So even if you are not in a Luther College or Campion College or First Nation University College, you can still take these classes, and there is definitely a benefit to doing that. You know why? Because you'll have smaller class sizes. That's one thing. And then the other is that a lot of the times those classes open registration sooner than others. So definitely take advantage of being able to register in the Luther, Campion, or First Nations University classes, because they do offer smaller class sizes. So if you're wondering, maybe you don't want to be in a class with 144 other people, well, take a look at the Luther classes and see what's available. If we're all good there, I think we'll move on. So once you are looking at a class and you see that there are seats available, you're interested in registering it, but you're not quite sure what kind of course it is. So for Biology 140, what does that mean? Well, we can find out very easily by viewing the course catalog entry. So the number, the CRN, the course reference number, is highlighted in blue because it's something you can click on. Go ahead and click on that number and you'll find the course catalog entry. You'll find out more restrictions about the class. You'll see more information as well. So for example, this class, you must take one lab, and it tells you exactly what lab to take in addition to this class. As well, it says restrict to First Nations University until August 10th. Now what that means is that only students through the First Nations University are able to register in this class until the given deadline. That means after August 10th, if you still want to be in this class, you can go ahead and register. So if there's any questions here, I think it's very important you guys take a look just to see some of the details, see if there's any restrictions, because it might explain why you can't register in the class or why you're seeing holds on your account when you go to add it to your worksheet. Moving on. Now, to find out more information about a class, I did mention the catalog entry. You can go ahead and click on the View Catalog Entry. Now, what this does is it gives a brief description of the course. It explains, for example, in Introductory Statistics, this will be all your business students, you'll be looking at these kinds of classes. It explains a comprehensive introduction to probability, probability distributions, sampling distributions, and so on and so forth. It's giving you an idea of what this class is about. The other important thing you're going to find here is prerequisites. They will be listed based on what kind of class you're looking at. So if you're looking at a class that's not a 100 level course or not just an entry level course, you're going to have to meet the prerequisites in order to register in that class. This could be why trying to register is not working when you try to add this class to your worksheet. So for example, this class has a prerequisite of Pre-Calculus 30 or Math B30 for high school students, and so on. Other things that letting you know that if you're trying to register in this class and another class, for example, Statistics 200, those two classes, you're not going to be able to get credits for both of them. That's just letting you know that. Make sure you're looking at the classes you're registering in, because if you select two classes that are too similar, you'll only get credit for one. This is the perfect place to find out that information, to see if you have the prerequisites. For students who are getting transfer credit, again, you're going to want to talk to your academic advisor to see what classes you can register in, what prerequisites they're going to give you from your transfer credit. This may be something you won't be able to do on your own. So be aware of the catalog entry and make sure you pay very close attention to the prerequisites. This could be why you're receiving error messages when you try to register in a class. So as far as selecting a class, we'll move on. What you want to do is on that page where it shows you all the options for the classes available, like I mentioned before, the little box on the left-hand side, you want to go and select that. It'll add a little check mark for you. And once you're ready, a lot of the times, for example, in biology, you'll have to register for the lab as well, not just the main course. Once you're ready with that, you can click register. If this course has a required lab to go with it, you will not be able to register unless you have selected both the course and the lab. So keep that in mind. Otherwise, you should be able to go on ahead with that. Now, if you've taken a look at the undergraduate course catalog, it does list every class by the CRN, which again is the course reference number. So when you have a course reference number, or you know exactly what class you want to take, you have the number, you're ready to go, you don't want to waste time searching, you can go again to add, drop, or search for classes, and you can go right into the bottom of the worksheet and add that number in all of the boxes offered, you could add your course reference number. So for example, here we have some classes that are 32468 or 31579. This way you can add the course all at the same time. You can add 3 courses at once and click on Submit Changes. You're done. You didn't have to search for anything. You've got what you need. Now, to be able to see what classes you have gone and registered yourself in, maybe you've made a mistake, maybe you have changed your mind, now you can go and look at your current schedule once you've registered in them. The courses that you have added and chose to add to your current schedule will be registered here. It'll show when you registered in them, and self-service just means that you're doing it online on your own. If you have an academic advisor register a course for you, it'll reflect that otherwise. So say you change your mind, you thought, oh, you know, I registered in that class accidentally, I want to change my class. This is where you can go and click on the drop-down menu to drop the class with a 100% refund and no grade, because you're still before the refund date and the classes haven't started, so of course you don't have a grade yet. And that is perfectly okay. If you've made a mistake or you want to change your mind, you can do that here. It's also going to show you how many credit hours you are currently registered in. This is important for students who are coming on a study permit. You need to be in a certain amount of credit hours during your studies, so make sure you're keeping a close eye here. If you've only registered in 2 classes, then you're not quite up to your requirements. If you're not sure what other classes you want to take, for example, you know you really want 2 classes, but for the rest of them you're not sure, feel free to register in 2 of the classes on your own and then meet with an academic advisor once you've arrived. That's not a problem. If you want some help with the rest of your schedule, you can do that. Now, registration errors. This is probably going to be the biggest frustration that you come across when trying to register in classes online. It comes up a lot, but there are easy ways to understand them and avoid them. So when you receive a registration error, when you're in the process of, this comes up when you're in the process of registering in class and adding it to your workbook, it'll say, you'll have a little red icon that pops up and says registration add errors. This is where you can see it gives a brief description of what the problem is. So here it mentions time conflict with another class. So in this situation, our social justice class has a time conflict with the global and local mining class. So that means that there are 2 classes that have a time conflict. Either it's that their exams are on the same day or at the same time, or it means that the class has an overlapping time. So ways you can avoid this are, again, looking in the course catalog entry. When you look at the details of a course, you can see what time it's offered. You can see where it's offered, and this is how you can kind of prepare yourself to expect these errors and avoid them by making sure you do not click and try to schedule classes that are offered at the same time or at overlapping times, because you want to make sure that you're able to attend all of your classes, and this tool does its best to make sure you're able to do that. There are other registration errors as well. Some examples can be found on this page here. So campus restriction. This is a common error that comes up, like we mentioned before, with the students who were only able to register from First Nations University. That means that this course is currently only offered to students who are, say, in the nursing program, or students who are registered through Luther College campus. This registration error is not permanent. Oftentimes it means that you can register after a certain date, but you'll need to pay close attention and view the catalog entry to find out that information. Closed section. Now what that means is that this course is full. If you are able to select the box to register in a class, but you get this error when you come up, that means that someone was just a bit quicker than you and happened to register in it before you. What you can do is keep checking back, see if a spot opens up, if somebody drops the course. You can also add yourself to the wait list. For more information about trying to register in a class that's already full, you will want to contact your academic advisor as soon as possible to see if there's any way they can accommodate you registering that class. Only your academic advisor can lift a hold for you to register in a class that is already full. You can also try contacting the professor to see if they will let you into the course. We have more registration errors available here for your reference. I will post this PowerPoint later on for you guys to take a look. But if you have any more questions, you can also ask in the Q&A. I'm not going to read through all of these errors because there are quite a few. But if you have any more questions about them, do please just let me know. we're going to look at checking your detailed class schedule. So, being able to look at your detailed class schedule, when you go back to the registration menu, you can click on Detailed Class Schedule, which includes your exam dates. This will show you a complete breakdown of the classes you're registered in, which will be listed here, what time it is offered, days it is offered, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or where it is offered. So the First Nations University Building, room 1011. These are the dates that it runs. Furthermore, you'll see another time offered below. That is the time of your exam. So your final exam is on, 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. on a Monday. Where it's going to be is to be announced. That means your professor will probably tell you. The date is December 16th. This is what you want to pay attention to, because you cannot, the program does stop you from registering in classes that have exams at the same time on the same day, but they do not stop you from registering in classes that have exams on the same day at different times. So if you have one class with an exam in the morning, you could also register in a class that has an exam on the same day in the afternoon. You want to be aware of this because you don't want to put yourself in that situation for finals. It'll be very stressful to have two classes, the exams on the same day. You want to give yourself enough time to prepare for that exam and be able to write it with enough time to study for it. Okay, further on. More information on your detailed class schedule. You can check the distance between your classes. I have posted a campus map for your reference, so you can see what building it's located in and see your class that is after that to see what building that is located in. And kind of, it takes about 10 minutes to get from one building to another, maybe a bit less depending on the time of day. So please keep in mind, while most of our buildings are connected within indoors, you don't have to go inside for most of them. There is a rush hour, so all classes do let out around the same time. There are lots of students trying to get to different buildings, so you want to make sure you've given yourself enough time to get from one place to another. So if you have one class that's offered in the education building, and your next class is offered at First Nations University, that's pretty far on the campus map. I'll let you guys take a look. It will give, you want to give yourself about 15 minutes to get from one to the other. Make sure you give yourself some time in the day to eat lunch as well. Another thing you can check on your detailed class schedule is you'll see here it has the list of the instructors for a certain class, and then beside them they have a little mail icon which you can click on. If you have a question about the course you've registered in, or if you would like to ask your professor about textbooks or other things about this class, you can email them before the class begins, before you've even come to Canada. It's not a problem. Go ahead and click on that icon, introduce yourself to your professor, and list your questions. They may recommend that you talk to an academic advisor, but there may be questions they can answer specifically about the class for you. Now, to start summarizing on this, our top 3 registration tips are: 1, make sure you select the correct term when you're working in UR Self-Service. You want to make sure whether you're registering for spring-summer 2016 or for fall 2016. There's a big difference. If you want to start classes in May or in August, you need to select the spring-summer courses. If you don't want to start until September, you're going to register in the fall courses. Number 2, always review your detailed class schedule to ensure all of your courses have been properly added and check for scheduling conflicts. That means while you're registering in your classes, don't just assume that it's gone through, because like I said, if somebody goes in and registers at the same time, that class may be full and you may not get the one you want. So check your detailed class schedule, make sure you've got all the classes you want. Make sure you don't have exams that are on the same day, because that's going to put a lot of pressure on you for your first year. Number 3, uncertain, confused, definitely contact your academic advising office. They'll help you with the online registration, they'll assist you in your class choices, and they can lift registration holds. So if you're having problems, they are here to help you. They can give you counseling on what classes you think you need for your chosen program of study. Now, problem solving. I mentioned at the very beginning of this presentation that IT services is definitely here to help you if you cannot log in. But again, the order in which you should try logging in. First, look at page 2 of your acceptance letter. It does give you detailed instructions for logging in. Next, use the UR Self-Service Help button. You could be entering your date of birth in the wrong format, so definitely give that a shot. Check that out. Number 3, if you're still having problems, go ahead and contact IT support and they can help you out. Restriction errors. That means that there is something coming up that you're not able to register in this class for some reason. Maybe you still have a hold. Maybe there's a special program that you're in. You can only register specific classes. Contact your academic advising office. They can help lift these holds for you. Okay? In the end, if you're in doubt, contact your academic advisor or contact us at UR International. We're here to help. We can direct you to the right place depending on your situation. We are definitely always available for you. We hope that you use this option. I'm really glad that you guys have been able to take a look at this with me. I'm going to see if we've got any Q&A. Doesn't look like we have any questions posted right now, so if you guys have any questions in the future, go ahead and give us some questions on the Q&A. You can also always contact us by email at international.admissions@uregina.ca. That's listed right on the bottom here. Our phone number is 306-585-6260, and our toll-free number for international students is 1-855-683-2181. Again, we will have another webinar at 3:30 p.m. Central today. So if you've missed anything or you have more questions you want answered, definitely tune in for that. I'm glad that you've been able to kind of stick with us during this tutorial, and I hope if you guys have any further questions, we can help get those answered. So go back to your event page, take a look at the resources there because I'm going to be posting the PowerPoint for you to take a look. We also have your academic advisors listed, so take a look at what faculty you're in. You can find out a bit more information about what classes you should register in. And again, I can't stress it enough. If you guys have any questions, please do let us know. We are here to help. We want to make sure you can register in your classes, come to the university, and just have a good experience overall. Okay? We look forward to seeing you on campus. Come give us a hello in our office when you're here, and we'll see you soon. Okay? Take care, everybody. Bye.